I'm sure the police said that's not as necessary. It's a clean-cut case. Black man with a gun shooting at a Hispanic person. It's like either gang-related or we don't know.
Right.
And do we care?
You see, my Uncle Dale was a family man, you know? He had his shit together, let's say it. He had a good reputation in family, a good reputation at work.
A good reputation in the streets.
Yeah, and everything. The whole nine. But this other dude was like a drunk or a drug addict or something. Somebody who had some kind of hindrance in their life that was not fully developed or grown as a man, and still had decisions and things in his life he had to get together.
They say an officer ultimately fired through the front door, killing the suspect, who was later found with a revolver in his hand. But at first, officers didn't know if the gunman had been shot or if there were other shooters. One witness reported seeing 3 men with guns.
The fact that Delfon was a great guy, it's just, you know, that does piss me off, that the way he went, you know what I mean?
They brought out people hiding in a bathroom and searched the bar, making this discovery.
An additional casing was found that indicates there may have been an additional shooter.
The way he's gone from this world portraying to be a bad guy. Yeah, he wasn't a bad guy. He was a great guy.
Police say that casing didn't match the guns of the officer or the suspected shooter. They're now trying to determine where it came from.
The situation, yeah. The situation, just curious about why would happen. It could have been different.
That shot appears to have been fired by an unknown patron of the bar. DeMarco, they also tell us that the first person who was shot and wounded, again expected to be okay, is actually an employee of the bar.
When I think about Delfon, like, fuck dude, what the fuck were you thinking? That goes to my head a lot. What did you try to take your life that way?
What I was reading is apparently per California law, they technically can edit, they can take their time. They don't need to release information as soon as possible. They only release information once the investigation is done, hence why the information was released in January and not like in November.
Right,
Yeah.
because they're not going to be so quick to release the information
And
right
that's
away.
why there's footage missing, because a lot of it gets edited down, streamlined for the investigation, but it leaves a lot of questions unanswered.
It was already mapped out and it was already edited for them to put it on the website. Something not right. Y'all say, okay, well, we want y'all to view this footage before we release it to the public. It was already released to the public.
Yeah, we met at Disney, I'm gonna say 1996. Just by passing each other by, you know, knowing, hey, that's Delfon, whatever. We crossed paths from the custodial office, which was centered by the, back then near the castle on the right side where Plaza Gardens used to be. So we crossed paths, hey, how you doing? He was always the guy that would, you know, walk down the street and look people in the eye and, you know, say what's up, always saying what's up to anybody. That's how he was. And, you know, hey, how you doing? I'm Delfon, I'm Luis. How's it going? Whatever.
He was doing custodial and I was at the trams, and that's how I ended up meeting him. And we used to always see each other. You know how black guys are. We see each other a lot, and then we start, you know, hey man, what's up? Blah, blah. Then we start talking about sports. He found out I was a Cowboy fan, and he was a Bronco fan, and then right away, hey, you trying to put something on the game? You trying to put something on the game, fam? I'm like, man, it's nothing. What you trying to put? Back and forth, play fantasy football leagues and stuff. And we started talking about that, and then we started talking about where we grew up at, where he grew up at, and I told him where I grew up at. And we was like, oh, okay, we know some of the same people. Okay, that's what you're saying. Like, yeah.
When he first hired in, he would dump trash a lot. So when you would dump trash, you would get a partner, and you know you would work together in that area. I think the area was Adventureland when he was working that day. He worked a lot in Tomorrowland, but anyways, that situation in Adventureland, he was working with a partner named Tim Littell, and I guess he turned him in because we had a lot of dead space time in the areas. When you would finish your area, depending on how fast you were, you would dump your area and you had time to do nothing because you're going to wait for the trash to fill up. So Delfon was the guy that he would dump his area fast and chill most of the time. Well, the partners, usually you get a partner where, you know, this guy ain't doing shit, you know, he's stiffing. That was a big word, stiff.
Like, I guess Tim told his lead, hey, Delfon's nowhere to be found. His cans are getting full. He's not helping me. And Delfon actually confronted him in the back. Said, you know, for some people at Disney now, what he did, they would have got fired.
Being black men at Disneyland and how things are perceived with us and how we got to carry ourselves a certain way and the ups and downs from that. We talked about that a lot. I mean, he was always someone like, you know, if I needed to go vent about anything work related, he already knew something about it. He knew most of my managers or my bosses anyway. So he was already tapped in to a lot of people, so he knew what their demeanor was like. So if I had to like say something about someone, he already kind of knew what it was. You know, whether he faced it personally or he heard other stories. Mm-hmm. And they kind of were consistent with each other. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know what that's like.
My first summer there, actually, Tomorrowland, he would dump trash. And I would come on second because at my seniority, I'm the new guy. He was probably there 2-3 years prior to me showing up. Yeah. I'm not sure how long he hired in there, but he was there 2-3 years prior for me getting there. And the reason I know that because when we talked about how you got hired, we actually hired through, I don't know if you heard of the First AME Church. Yes. On Adams. Yes. We were part of the same program. And that program basically was, the way I describe it is this bus came to the hood to get guys from the streets to work in that place.
We started talking about where we grew up at, where he grew up at, and I told him where I grew up at. And it was like, oh, okay, we know some of the same people. Okay, that's what you're saying. Like, yeah.
Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Inglewood. I'm from Manchester, Van Ness.
Right away, we had two things in common. We were from the streets. Oh, he was South Central by the Hoovers. And I grew up in Central and 22nd Street by the Coliseum, South Central. So we grew up in the hood from the AME Church going to Disneyland. So we had that in common, you know. We had conversations on how we grew up or how we got here, you know, family-wise, streets, who you grew up with, you know, the tension, you know, always in LA, blacks and Mexicans, you know what I mean? All the time.
How would you describe Delfon's personality?
He was always friendly, always greeting people, you know, not what I was expecting growing up in the hood. Somebody coming, you know, from the hood, black man, what's up, how you doing? You know, look thuggish, you know, stereotypical. Of course, you know, they see me, oh, this bald Mexican dude, cholo.
He talked about being belittled, you know, obviously because he worked in custodial. He had guests that kind of talked down in a certain manner, but Delfon had a mouthpiece on him. He knew how to talk, but he talked in a way where don't misinterpret what he actually doing. That's not who he is. You know, he spoke with certain intellect. People understood that he was educated. He knew how to carry himself. He knew how to talk. He knew how to adapt to any environment. He used to always tell me, like, yeah, some people got, you know, smart mouths. He used to say certain things. But he quick, he witty. He know what to say and how to say it. Without it seeming like it's direct, it might seem more indirect and direct, coming off a certain way when he's talking.
What type of music did he listen to?
NWA, Tupac, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, you know, Dr. Dre.
What we learned here is that he was married to Eazy-E's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a rundown about that.
When I first met his wife, was it before he married? I don't recall when, because I did go to his wedding, but I had met Patricia before they got married. I mean, they were together, but I never knew they were not married and whatever. I guess they got married in Vegas. I went to the reception. That's what yeah. But you know, Mexicans say, oh, you know, I went to his wedding. Basically, the reception is the wedding to us. So yeah, I went to his wedding. It was in Alpine Village off the 110. It was cool. I mean, he was drunk. He danced. I remember, what's the one song? Every time I hear that song, it reminds me of Delfon. Step in the Name of Love, R. Kelly.
Yeah.
You know, right? And Delfon had that little swag, you know, going side to side. I bought him a bottle of Remy for his, you know, as a gift for his wedding. And that motherfucker didn't even wait to fucking put it with the gifts. He fucking grabbed it. Thanks, dog. Fucking start drinking and shit. When I met him, he says, yeah, you know, that's Eazy-E's sister. I was like, oh, no shit, you know? And at the time, I was like, I didn't hear that type of music. So I kind of, in a way, growing up, knew of NWA, but I didn't know exactly who was Eazy-E and all that. So he basically explained to me. He would tell me stuff like I would see on TV when they do documentaries saying this and this and that about how it happened, and Delfon be like, nah, that didn't happen, that's bullshit. I can't relate on some stuff, but I mean, obviously he knew of him, his kids growing up. As they were growing up, they would talk more about him, like we miss you, Uncle E. I remember in their wall in his room, they would have like memorabilia, rest in peace, Uncle Eazy, and stuff like that. There was another time where actually Delfon invited me to his in-laws after they got married. They invited me to his in-laws' house, Mr. and Mrs. Wright, Eazy-E's parents, and that was actually kind of cool going to their home. And you know, on the wall they have like platinum records and all this stuff. And there was like a bar where I guess he used to rap, and he had a water bottle and it was labeled Eazy-E's water bottle or whatever. So that was kind of interesting, you know, knowing somebody that was a, you know, and to us an icon, to other people, you know, but he was an artist, you know, so someone famous, you know.
What did Delfon value the most in life?
So I'm gonna say his kids, his kids.
More than anything.
Oh yeah, he fucking loved his kids. He did everything for his kid. He took them to Dodger games. He took them to Disneyland. He fucking bought them every time, you know. He would say the kids are gonna go get him. What you doing, dog? Oh, I'm taking the kids to the barber. I said, fuck, you go to the barber a lot, don't you? He says, yeah, that's what we do, you know. I take my kids to the barber, get some, you know, I guess that's where he would probably relax with his kids, to spend some time with his kids other than work or you know, like I said, he would take them to Dodger games.
Wherever he went, he brought his boys with him.
Yeah, or for events like that, I'm gonna take my kids here. You know, the kids will, you know, we'll go watch Lakers. They'll watch them with us. Football, they'll stay and watch with them. A few times to Disney that he would take his kids. But yeah, I mean, his kids were little. I mean, he started young, so I would go watch Laker games at his house. His kids were there, you know. Hey, Delfon, I'm on my way. You need anything? He says, you by the taco truck, whatever. He says, yeah. You know, says, can you get some tacos for my kids? I say, yeah, bro, whatever. Boom, bring tacos, bring some food. How you doing? Some beer. You know, Friday night, let's get together. Let's watch the Lakers whoop some ass. His kids always very respectful. Say hi to Luis. Hey, Luis, how's it going? Say thank you to Luis. He brought dinner. Thank you, Luis. He always made sure his kids were always, you know, very, very respectful and shit, you know, at his home. And like I said, we'll drink, we'll play cards, we'll bullshit. I mean, he was just a down-to-earth guy when he was just chill drinking, you know. I mean, he wasn't, to my knowledge, like everybody else. Don't like I said, once again, yeah, I'm trying to think of a situation where alcohol made him angry or he got out of control. Nah, not at all. It was a random year. I had just broken up with my girlfriend of 5 years, and I was going through some shit, drinking a lot, whatever. So me and Delfon were talking one time, like, what are you doing this weekend or whatever? We shoot the breeze. You know what? I was thinking of going to Mexico, TJ, for my birthday. You want to go? It's like, I've never been there. It's like, well, fuck, let's go. So it was the first time for everything. He agreed. So we went with 2 other guys. It was 4 of us. It was on a Monday, you know, my 23rd birthday. We get to TJ, and you know, Delfon was always, you know, he always carried carried a gun. So I told him, hey, Delfon, we're going to TJ. Don't bring that shit, you know. He's like, all right, cool. So I did tell him I was fucking with him. I told him, put $20 under your shoe and your sock or whatever. He's like, what for? That's our fucking, yeah, there you go. He's like, what the fuck? Where the fuck are we going? I said, nah, dog. You know, you scared? He's like, you know, I'm not scared. You know, he would always say that. I'm not scared. So we got there, whatever. He did it anyways, though. I did check him, he did it. So we got there, we're walking down Revolucion, and I told him, you're gonna be a fucking celebrity. He's like, why? He says, you don't see too many black guys coming to Mexico, so they're gonna be trying to hustle you. So, but you know, just you'll see. So yeah, we got there and we're walking. Hey, brother, hey, leather. You know, I don't know what is it with black people and leather, but I would always tell him that shit, and he would just like, shut up, stupid, you know, whatever. And he bought, actually, when they were hustling, we're walking down the street, and they're like, brother, come here, leather, check it out. And there was a time where he bought a hat. He asked for a hat. He liked the leather hat, and he asked the guy how much. I could think it was like $30 or $40 he wanted, and Delfon was ready to pull out his cash. So he's, nah, Delfon, chill, dude, you know, that's cheap, dog. I said, nah, dude, we could probably get it cheaper. So anyways, to make a long story short, we dropped down the $30, $40 to like fucking $10 or something. So he bought his hat. It's like, oh shit. I said, yeah, that's how it works here, dog. You know, we gotta, they'll fucking just want to sell, but they're trying to rip you off, dude. They see you with money and shit. They know we're fucking from the other side, you know, from the US. So it was all right. It was a lot of fun. We ended the night at this bar. What was it called? I think it was called El Torito, but on Revolution. We fucking puked after all those shots and beers. We puked all over the fucking restaurant. And the guy was actually pretty pissed off. Delfon was fucking pissed. Actually, Delfon gave the guy some money so he can clean up all that shit. And I remember we were all fucked up, like, fuck, I gotta drive. So crossing the border, it's like, oh, we're gonna get fucking busted. You know, we're all fucked up. My friend puked in the car. Delfon was asleep. The other guy in the back he was scared. He was like literally crying. Like, fuck, we're gonna get busted. And nah, you know, actually that day the cop was cool. He saw that I was kind of fucked up. He saw that it was my birthday, and he let us through. I don't know how the fuck we got through, but we got through. And I remember on the freeway, Delfon woke up and he had to fucking puke. And he fucking opened up the door, and he's literally fucking leaning, fucking puking. And Omar was like, Luis, stop the fucking car, you know? Like, what the fuck, dude? Delfon, he's gonna fall. I was like, shut the fuck up. Delfon, what the fuck are you doing? And the door's wide open, he's puking, and this guy's in the back fucking, yeah, I'm driving on the freeway, full speed, and fucking, he's screaming, trying to pull him back. My co-pilot, he was passed out. I mean, fuck, dude. It was a story, you know? I mean.
So when you mentioned about you guys were drinking, what was his personality like once he, you know, drinking alcohol?
Oh, fuck. He was fucking cool, man. He was just chill. He was down to earth. If Delfon don't like something, he's going to let you know. And if they give you shit, he's going to act. But Delfon, I will never see him starting shit. You know what I mean? There's the fool that will drink and start shit versus the guy that is going to get, you know, you did something to me, I'm going to fucking do something to you. That was my way of seeing Delfon, because that's the way I am. I'm a chill dude, but if you want to fuck with me, you're gonna have issues. But there was a situation where Delfon and Downey, he owed money to the guy Rich, and Rich kind of was throwing it out there with other people's business, and he didn't like that. So, you know, that's between them. Why is he throwing it out there in public? So Delfon basically said, you know, I'm gonna pay you, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? Don't fucking put out my business in public, you know, like making them look bad.
He was very private.
Yes, they was looking bad. But it got to the point where it escalated where that guy Rich, going back to the smoking, he was doing it on purpose, blowing smoke at Delfon.
So he basically had a problem with Delfon.
Yeah, they were dealing, yeah, you know, this was maybe a year after, because Rich was a dick too, you know. There was a time where he would get ace deuce and he would rip, he won't win and he's ripping cards. And one time he ripped all the decks, we'd have no more cards, so basically he kicked us out. And me and Delfon were like, what the fuck's wrong with this motherfucker, you know? Why is he doing that shit? So that night, actually, we ended up at Commerce, and we had our own good time.
And you guys never went to a bar around Anaheim with the same name, roughly, or any of that?
Me and him? We went to the national sports bars to watch the Broncos and the Raiders all the time. They don't exist anymore. I think they went out of business, but we would go to the one right across the street from Angel Stadium. It's a national sports bar grill. Fucking Monday nights, man. Denver and Raiders. And at that time, in the late 90s, when we were closed, 97, 98, the Raiders were good. So the Raiders were always whip the fucking donkeys out. As we always tell them, shit, you know, fucking donkeys. And the Raiders always whoop their ass. And $20, dog, you know what's up. Pay the bill. So yeah, he'd pay. You know, he's good about that. We used to make bets and shit. So.
And look at Pat Beverly celebrate at the other end. The Clippers win round one with the Lakers by 10.
They showed him as a monster, man. He was no monster, man. I mean, like I said, I was in there. I don't know. It had to be something big for him to have a gun. That's just like, you know, I mean, he had a gun all the time, but not to use it like that. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. Protection, you're from the streets, you know. I got to have my piece, you know.
And of course, correct me if I'm wrong. When people go to the bars, of course, there's going to be bar fights.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be shootouts.
Oh, yeah. The video footage, my opinion, that fucking cop that shot him, he didn't even command them, whatever. I don't know their protocol or whatever, but he could have probably not killed Delfon if it was another situation. I don't know, like I said, he didn't command nothing. He just started shooting, and Delfon's gone, so...
When this whole story developed about Delfon's final moments of his life when the shooting took place, give us your feedback of how you felt about it when the story had developed about him in a bar shooting and getting to the altercation with Manuel. You know.
Well, but what I read and heard from people and everything, I mean, I still don't know why. Why was he there? What happened? I mean, you see the surveillance. I mean, there's no audio, but like, that's not Delfon. Like, I just hear that, see it, how they portray it, or how it went, but that's not Delfon. I mean, I never in a million years think Delfon would do something stupid like that, you know? That wasn't him. That wasn't him. Like I said, I didn't know him that well at that time. I knew of him, the past Delfon, the middle part, where that's not him. That wasn't him, you know? That it's just, it can't be him. He was not like that. He wasn't an angry guy. He wasn't a guy that would, I mean, yeah, hot hits, yeah, anything, but ignites anybody. But like I said, you gotta provoke somebody. But to that point, I don't know what was going on, what was going through his head. But that wasn't Delfon. That was not the Delfon.
It was just pretty much shocking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Especially taking someone else's life. You know, like nah, that Delfon fucking loved everybody. He had no beef with nobody like that, you know. Like I just said, he fucking walked right by you and, what's up, homie? How you doing? Not knowing you, you know. He was like that everywhere, you know.
So do you believe for a fact he might have been provoked? To where it led him.
Yeah, that's a no get, you know, brainer. Yeah, he got provoked. 100% probably got provoked. You know, I don't know why or what. Like I said, the scenario how they portrayed that he went home and came back, and you know, I don't know the whole stories, but something happened. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but it wasn't Delfon. Delfon was not like that. I got a text from Scott Henderson, that Delfon died at a, fuck, what did it say? Delfon died at a bar tonight. Got shot at a bar, or got killed. But at the time I wasn't talking to Scott, and I fucking text Johnny. You know, I was talking to you about Johnny, you know, that he passed away from the heart attack. Him, I call him, say, hey Johnny, did you? Yeah, Scott texted me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Michelle I called her, or she texted me, I don't know how, and is it true? And I was like, yeah, it's true. And I was like, what the fuck, you know? Fuck. Damn.
My boy Drew, he worked there as well. He texted me, hey man, you heard what happened to Delfon? I said, no, bro, you talking about where I'm going? He crying, man, and he told me Delfon passed away, and I'm like, oh, stop playing with me, man.
2 people were killed at a bar. 1 person has been taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say it happened at the Bottom Up Sports Bar just after midnight, 12:20 to be approximate. This is near the intersection of Artesia and Cherry. Here's what happened. Police say a patrol officer responded to reports of a shooting at the bar. The officer heard the gunshots when they got outside the bar and began firing their weapon. Police say the male suspect was found dead inside the bar. Another person, unidentified, was also found dead inside. Again, 1 person was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound, and the officer was not injured.
The day this girl that I was working with, we were working at the E-Ticket. We were doing restrooms. Her name's Yesenia Ochoa. She was late. And why were you late? I says, there was a shooting at a bar by my house. And the freeway was closed, so I couldn't get through. And not knowing that was the bar Delfon got killed, you know, I knew by her telling me that she was late because of that bar being closed, not knowing that that's where Delfon got killed. Because the next day I told her, hey, you know, that bar shooting, that was my homeboy. And she's like, what the fuck? I said, yeah. So I was like, just fucking tripping that, wow, you know. The news already had gone to me not knowing, you know what I mean? You know, that was a situation. And, you know, we talked to a lot of people. I think there was therapists, all kinds of shit. And, you know, one of the managers from Disney at the time, he was new, Matt Campbell, calls me, hey, you okay? I'm going by, dude. If you want anything you need, bro, let me know. I said, all right.
I can't believe it, man, because he's such a good dude, man. You know, and we just heard that it was a shooting in a bar. Pretty much what it was. You know, I get to work the next day. On the female custodial cast member that I talk to every morning, she came and gave me a hug. She started crying. She was just like, yeah, it's true. She said, we're trying to do something here at the work. It's a job for him, you know, but she said it's hard because he don't work here, and that's when I figure all that out. You know, it's hard because he don't work here no more.
I think that day it just got to me. I was listening to Pandora, and a lot of the songs that talk about death, life, where am I going, all this stuff. They got to me thinking about him. I told the manager, you know what, I'm gonna take you out for it. I can't function. I gotta go. So it hit me pretty strong, you know. Yeah, it was tough.
Basically, it hit home.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, like I said, we weren't that close towards the end, of his life. We were really close in the middle. I'm gonna say the middle because I didn't know really a lot about his childhood. But, you know, like our Disney life, our family, you know, that's another family, you know.
Right.
And obviously you build family there, but then there's the outside family from that family, you know.
Right.
And that's what we were.
Right.
We were, you know, we were family. You know, and then we would say that all the time. You're my brother from another mother. We're family, dog. You know, I love you. We said I love you a lot of times.
We love you, Dale. We love you, Dale. Never forget you, Dale. Never forget you, Dale. You will always be with us every step of the way. You will always be with us every step of the way.
The people that knew Delfon, that wasn't Delfon, are gonna say 100%. Everybody that went to the funeral, that's why they were there, you know, that because they knew that wasn't him. People that decided not to go to the funeral, hey, they're entitled to their opinion, whatever. But Delfon had a lot of people, and I'm sure that kept a lot of people away for what happened because, you know, the situation. He took someone else's life or whatever, but that's just my opinion. And he was a great guy.
My dad's been in jail since I was 4. But from what I know and what he told me about Uncle Bill, he always had good things to say about him. He always said he was cool. He was a man, and he was about his business. That's what he always made clear. And he talked about him and described him. And my Uncle Bill was fond of me. He knew I was my father's son, and he knew, we got some of the same traits. And we always clicked, man, every time we saw each other, you know. And it was beyond the fact of my father and his relationship. You know, we developed our own through time, hanging out and everything. Even with Bill, ever since he married my stepmom, Lisa. So, probably longer than that, I think. And they was real close, you know what I mean? We hung out together and had mutual friends and whatnot. But from what I know, they were real close. My dad liked him, you know, he laughed and he smiled when he mentioned Uncle Bill.
How's your dad feeling about this right now when he found out what happened to Delfon?
He heard about it and he felt mad and angry behind it. He wanted to know what happened. He, pissed off and disbelief as well. Couldn't believe it either. He wasn't expecting this to happen, like I said. And it's just more stress for him to deal with, you know.
Just unfortunate how it took my friend's life and you know, we're curious why, but I guess we'll never know. And you know, I don't really think much of it, like I said, but the fact that Delfon was a great guy, it's just, you know, that does piss me off, that the way he went, you know what I mean?
The way he went about it.
Yeah, the way he's gone from this world portraying to be a bad guy. And yeah, he wasn't a bad guy. Yeah. He was a great guy.
On March 1st, when a patron left this bar and moments later crashed into an apartment complex just down the street, killing a father and his 3-year-old daughter. Now here are some images of Jose Palacios and his 3-year-old daughter, Samantha. They were sleeping at the time of that crash when, again, a drunk driver crashed into their house, killing both of them. That driver then got away. Octavio Montano has been on the run ever since, and it's been very hard for the Palacios family. I just spoke to Esnia Palacios a few moments ago, and she, along with one of her friends, say today is very emotional despite this bar having their liquor license suspended.